Konnichiwa. So, thank you for asking me so many questions. Mama's tied me down in the chair to take a video of me trying to answer some of them. So here we go. I reserve the right to refuse to answer questions that I don't want to answer, all right?
Okay. But this time that you're gonna answer the most asked question.
Yeah, the most asked question is, what's my favourite football team? And my favourite football team is Aston Villa. Because that's where I grew up.
でも本当に Google とかでリアリコって検索したら必ず出るのがダディの仕事。Daddy's job. Yeah, number one.
Number one question. So it's a bit of a long story, so a little bit more about me than people already know. I grew up in the UK. I left the UK after university when I was 21, and I went to Hong Kong, and I joined the Royal Hong Kong Police Force as a police inspector. So I was in the police in Hong Kong for 3.5 years. And then I decided to leave the police, and I started working for a famous international bank in Hong Kong, and with that company I worked in 7 different countries over 27 years, including some time in India on a detachment, Hong Kong, Japan, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malta and Spain. So, and that's where I met you in Tokyo. And so in 2018, after 27 years with the bank, I took early retirement. And since then, so now it's 2020, that's 2 years ago, I took some time to basically chill out a bit, to do some other things. I've been helping Tom and Jun a lot with a lot of the administrative and logistical things that behind what they've been doing.
Yeah.
So that's taken up a lot of time.
はい。では other question. 家族の会話の日本語は大体わかりますか？
少しです。
少し。But you understand most of it, no?
I understand what's going on. I understand a lot of what's being said. I mean, when I was working in Japan, working in Tokyo, I mean, I kind of studied Japanese. For I had 1 or 2 lessons a week for maybe a couple of years, 2.5 years or something. I'm not very good at languages though, and I made progress. I passed level 4. Government level 4 exam. I got about halfway to level 3, and then the bank moved me to Vietnam, so I kind of stopped learning Japanese. But since then, I mean, since we got married, and since we had kids, I only speak to the kids in English, and you only speak to the kids in Japanese.
Okay. What's your favorite mama's food?
I think when Tom and Jun were young, I think you were more adventurous with the food that you cooked. You used to cook, obviously, a lot of Japanese food, but you used to cook also quite a lot of Western food. And you used to do it really well, but I think you've become more, less variety as,
What did I cook? Western dish.
Well, like steak or meat or roasts, dinners, different types of pasta, things that have potatoes in them. I think we, possibly because of lockdown, but from my point of view, I don't think we have enough variety.
Mainly I cook Japanese food.
So, but favourites, temaki sushi, san shokudon, san shokudon. I like karage. Sometimes I like the miso soup you make, but I don't like to have miso soup every day.
Yeah, I know.
What else? Bread that you've been making recently. Number one, the special sort of breakfast that you make on New Year's Day.
Ah, okay.
Fantastic, always superb.
Yeah.
It's like the best meal of the year.
Well, that's おせち料理。
Yeah, that's great. I like that.
Okay. お子さんの中でイギリス人だなと思うところを聞きたい。Do you find our children sometimes, oh, they're very British?
No,
Nothing.
no, very British. No, absolutely not.
違う。Something that make you think, oh, this is really British.
No,
Nothing.
nothing.
Oh, really?
No,
So they're more Japanese to you?
I think they are more Japanese. I mean, they've had more exposure to Japan, even though we never lived there. But we've never lived in England either. But I think they're more Japanese than British.
Yeah, especially Kai and Kazu, I found they are very Japanese.
Yeah.
But they refuse. If I said, what do you think, anything inside you that make you think you are Japanese? If I ask a question to Kai, he said, nothing. No,
Wow.
he is Japanese. And in the morning, he wants to have a miso stew,
I know. but
every day.
It's like I asked.
He's more Japanese than anybody in Japan.
But it's like I asked Jun, about a year ago, where is home for you? Is Barcelona home? I mean, it's where we've been living, but honestly, it doesn't really feel like home. Do our kids feel British or do they feel Japanese? Honestly, I think they probably feel more Japanese. I mean, everything they do on YouTube is in Japanese as well, right?
Yeah, but for them, I think they don't think they're Japanese.
I think if we moved to England, I think they would find it more of a culture shock than if we moved to Japan.
I don't know.
I do.
Really?
I'm pretty sure about that.
イギリスの誇れるところ something you proud.
A real physical beauty, a natural beauty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
When my feet are going over the ground, it feels like England to me, okay? And, if I go running over the hills here in Barcelona, yeah, it's lovely, it's great. But I don't feel any sort of strong attachment.
ダディは今までさまざまな国に住んだと思いますが、カルチャーショックを受けたことはありますか？
Yeah. I mean, I've lived in 8 different countries, okay? And, every country is different. But honestly, the country where I had the most culture shock, where I thought things were the most different, was Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think, when I moved to Tokyo, I'd already been in Asia and the Middle East. I'd been in Hong Kong for 3.5 years in the police. I'd done my training with the bank in Hong Kong and India. I'd spent a year and a bit in Bahrain. I'd spent another year back in Hong Kong. So, I'd been overseas for a few years already in the Middle East and in different countries in Asia. And then I moved to Tokyo, which was very different.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, like you've been to India,
Hong Kong,
Bahrain, Jakarta. You didn't have a culture shock?
I think the biggest culture shock, I mean, it wasn't really a shock, but the biggest, whoa, this is different, was Tokyo.
Oh, really?
Definitely. I had a good friend of mine who was at university with me. When I joined the police in Hong Kong, he went to Japan. He was working for a Japanese company. And he came to visit me in Hong Kong. during that time. And I remember he told me, coming to Hong Kong from Japan is like going back to England. Things are different in Hong Kong to England, but there's still a lot of things that you can relate to. But going to Japan, I mean, he found it very different. I found it moving from Hong Kong to Japan also very different. Of all the moves that I've had, it was the most surprising. I encountered more, not shocking things, but things which were like, oh, wow, different to what I was used to what I expected.
Like, what's the most surprising things you experienced?
I mean, my first night in Japan, I was in like a small business hotel in Shimbashi, and the bathroom was tiny, but I mean really small, but very, very good. The room was tiny, but everything worked and it was clean and it was very comfortable. Politeness of Japanese people, the way Japanese people interact with guests, for example, in the hotel or in a restaurant, very, very different from anything that I had experienced before. And
really?
Even going to Indonesia, okay, yeah, it's very different. You go to Bali, it's very different again. You go to Vietnam, it's very different. But
you expect.
But you kind of expected what you see there.
The other question, the most asked question, what do you like about me?